60,000 barrels of oil per day in 2007 to a major player with a current production of over 200,000 barrels of oil per day through the acquisition of equity in the divested blocks. NNPC equally grew to become one of the biggest producers and suppliers of gas of over 600 million scf to the local market through sustained and aggressive development of the assets assigned to it by the federal government. Beyond the universal concept that the necessities of life are food, shelter and clothing, the continuous preservation of these necessities is essential, necessitating the need to boost and sustain the aforementioned elements. These necessities therefore trigger the quest for infrastructural development as a means of enhancing the process of acquiring food, shelter and clothing. Today, corporate social responsibility projects by corporate organizations have become the barograph for evaluating the development of any nation. Or better put, the availability of food and shelter is conditioned by the provision of roads, electricity, education, water, as well as provision of health care to members of the host communities. Everywhere in the world, the story remains the same. NNPC is very much aware of this development and has therefore made it the cornerstone of its corporate social responsibility in all its operational areas. The company's unwavering commitment to its corporate social responsibility programs through the provision of laudable projects and encouragement of partnership is evident in the peaceful and harmonious relationship that exists between NNPC and its most valued stakeholder, the host communities. We are committed to the federal government's policy on local content development, and our local content strategy is such that promotes the use of locally manufactured goods and the engagement of Nigerian service companies in production operations, projects and well engineering. In this wise, we have created enduring business partnerships with local service providers and suppliers, which increase their professional capabilities through continuous strategic partnership. In maintaining a high standard of due process, our procurement and contracting processes are carried out within the framework of the laws of Nigeria. We are determined to ensure compliance with the Nigerian content and indeed all other regulatory requirements. This can be seen in our strive for continuous improvement on our structures and strategies for more effective realization of Nigerian content development objectives. We are also in constant consultations and interactions with the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB) in order to perfect our compliance mechanisms. As a responsible indigenous entity, we are committed to the ideals of Nigerian content and will continue to make compliance the bedrock of our operations and services. Our company remains committed to the health, safety and environment policy, international processes and standards for our operations and optimizes the value it adds to our stakeholders. To this end, we have a stringent safety policy and consistently train our workforce to observe global best practices in health, safety and environment management. All these would not have been accomplished without the company's dedicated workforce. We are 100% Nigerians working in a Nigerian company for our great country, Nigeria. As we strive to become a global leader in oil and gas exploration and production, NNPC focuses on the growth and development of its most valued assets, employees, such as the SPE Electronic Technical Symposium. Even in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, we remain resolute to aggressively pursue and deliver our strategic growth plan for 2020, because we are not just adding value, but we are actively involved in the value chain creation of the oil and gas industry.
Hello, glad to have you join us on the feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. The federal government declared 2020 as a year of gas, and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, along with some of our partners, have embarked on massive infrastructural projects to enable the country benefit from the abundant natural gas resources. On the feedback segment this week, both the lawmakers and Nigerians on the streets bear their minds on NNPC's performance in the gas sector.
Well, I must give kudos to the NNPC team for what they are doing. I mean, if we drive it to its conclusive end, we believe that the narratives in the oil sector will change, and the world over it is changing to gas, and with what they are putting in place, I'm sure that it will be better for Nigeria.
What we've heard, we can see that yes, NNPC is doing so much to improve the gas resources prospect in Nigeria. It has done a lot at making sure gas gets to the level that we expect it to be in Nigeria.
I would say, having declared this year to be the year of gas, we in automobile industry has as well leveraged on that great opportunity to also go into manufacturing of vehicles which can be driven with CNG, which is compressed natural gas, in keying into what NNPC has declared this year for.
Well, Nigerians are expecting them to do more, as they have started from Ajakuta to Kano, Kaduna, and probably the other part of the country as well.
I heard of AKK project, which I saw on TV. I think it's a welcome development if that comes to light. And kudos to NNPC for doing that also.
The NNPC is indeed living up to its mission, which is adding value as an integrated oil and gas company to the nation's hydrocarbon resources for the benefit of all Nigerians and other stakeholders. And that's it on this segment. Please stay with us for more on the program.
Hello, glad to have you join us again on yet another informative segment of the program. My name is Faith Ayuba. Did you know that after the formation of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, in April 1977, the corporation was given powers and operational interests in refining, petrochemicals, product transportation and marketing? This was in addition to its exploration and production activities, carried out mainly offshore in the Niger Delta by its forerunner, the Nigerian National Oil Corporation, NNOC. In addition, the NNPC constructed several kilometers of pipelines, pump stations, and depots for distribution of petroleum products throughout the country, and pioneered exploration activities in the Chad Basin around Maiduguri. Did you also know that in 1982, product retail, which formerly was firmly in the hands of major multinational oil companies, was deregulated to accommodate independent indigenous marketers? Now you know. Please don't go away. The rest of the program continues.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Europe is poised for an influx of ultra-low sulfur diesel ULSD imports, just as its biggest consuming markets are heading back into COVID-19 lockdowns. Brent crude futures dropped 68 cents or 1.65% to $40.55 per barrel, while the United States West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures fell 64 cents or 1.63% to $38.51 per barrel. The Market Intelligence Department of the NNPC's London office reports that France started its second lockdown on October 30, and Apple mobility data soon showed driving route requests plummeting from 30% above benchmark mid-January levels to 60% below. Germany started a 4-week partial shutdown on November 2, while England went into a month-long lockdown on November 5, with non-essential travels banned and working from home encouraged. These three countries are Europe's biggest ULSD consumers, with the UK by far the biggest importer of Russian diesel. ULSD was one of the top performers during Europe's first shutdown in March and April, as falling oil prices encouraged consumers and traders to stockpile fuel, and panic buying of staple goods boosted demand from the trucking sector. Imports are riding high, with Russia set to load 1.232 million metric tons at its main Baltic port of Primorsk this month, a 33% jump versus last month. Incoming cargoes from the Mid-East and Asia are also running at all-time highs. Tanker tracking service Refinity counted a bumper 3.1 million tons heading to Europe from the Mid-East and Asia last month, much of which has yet to unload. And that's it on this segment of the program. I am Owigo Okolo.
That's the program, and that's about all the stories we brought to you today. The NNPC is resolved to keep this momentum going for tape and all the good dividends yet to come. Thank you for stakeholdership. The new week begins now. Have a good one ahead.